Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Self-Love Sunday. Today I'm going to show you guys how I created my ancestors altar. I've gotten a few people ask me, well hey, can you do a video about your ancestors altar since you always show it? So here it is. So this is my grandmother here and my great-grandmother and a few other people on my altar that I love. My grandparents and stuff like that, and it's just very sacred to me. So basically what you can do on your sacred altar is get something that's really special to you that you really love. Rose of Jericho is what you call it, the Rose of Jericho. And this basically brings blessings into your home. It opens up a road for you to have financial blessings. And basically all you do is just pour water on it. You just feed it with water. You can saturate it with water and it will begin to slowly open up. Slowly open up. And it'll start spreading. And as it spreads, you can count on your financial blessings come through. So some little branches will start coming out, sprouting out and things of that nature. I usually have it in a big container, bigger than this, but because this is so little, this little table here is kind of little, I'm gonna actually upgrade and put more pictures of my ancestors on it. But for now, it's in this little container just for the sake of this little table here. And I have acorns on here because I love acorns, and acorns represents blessings and money. And I have a feather because a lot of times when you do an altar, you're supposed to have, a lot of people believe in having the elements: earth, water, air, spirit, and fire. And so here is, you can use the air. You can represent the air element with a feather, and I'll get into why these elements are important. And the fire element, which would be the candle. Your water element, which would just be water. And spirit is your ancestors. Earth represents grounding. You can use crystals as well, anything from the earth. Air represents mental intellect, or incense you can use as air. Fire represents energy, and water represents emotional release. And these all equate to physical matter in the spiritual realm. That's why the 4 elements are very important when you're doing an ancestors altar. And I will also do a video on the 4 elements separate from here, but just a brief synopsis of why the elements are extremely important is because of those reasons. So you want to get something that is very special to you, the Rose of Jericho, because it is very important to me because it's financial prosperity and it brings blessings. It opens up blessings to your home, and it also can represent as an offering to your loved one. So I had this on my altar many times before. I just recently added it to my altar because I don't have it sit out on a regular basis because it can get mildewed if you don't let it dry out and let it close back up. So now, as you can see from when I started the very beginning of my video, I poured some water in it and it was closed like this. Now, as you can see, some of the trees, the figs are starting to sprout open. And you want to make sure you also smudge your space with Palo Santo or sage whenever you are coming here to meditate. And it's just a great place to meditate. And here I have my incense going. I always use frankincense. Frankincense and myrrh is one of the most powerful type of herb and oil that you can have out there. A long time ago, I was drawn to frankincense and myrrh. I used to put it in my bath water, and I didn't really know why. I mean, of course, because I was studying in my Christian tradition, and I wanted to feel more spiritually connected, but I didn't really know the meat and potatoes of frankincense and myrrh until I actually researched it, and it is one of the most sacred oils that you can actually possibly use whenever you're doing spiritual work. And so whenever I use my ancestors' altar, I always want to connect with them and bring in some frankincense and myrrh. And you can also use that as an offering as well. So what you want to do is you want to sage your space before you come to your ancestors' altar. And it's really simple, guys. It's really simple. So what you do is you put all that out here. You get some nice picture frames and stuff like that. And you want to make sure you have your elements. And you want to make sure that the space that you are creating for them is going to be a sacred space. So not just anyone can come up to your sacred ancestors' altar without permission and put things on it and do things. A lot of times when my clients come back here, they might put their cell phone here or something, and I'm sure you can tell this is a sacred space. You know, I just move it. But like I was saying, you want to get your elements. You also are able to wipe everything down before you start it with Florida water. And Florida water is very important. Get your Florida water before you start. You can put it in a spray bottle, and you can just begin to spray the area that you want to clean off and wipe it down. I would go through the whole tutorial, but you guys are very smart. You know how to wipe something down. You know how to research Florida water. So I don't have to say, here, this is the Florida water, and you wipe it down and you put it up. No, my ancestors' altar has been up for years now, and I wasn't going to start everything over and start wiping it out and then set everything up like I'm just making it. So you wipe everything down, you put your, you pray over everything that you put on your ancestors' altar because it's sacred. You can sage it with sage, or you can purify it with Palo Santo. And you also will be purifying it if you used sage as well. You can also use a cedar stick, whatever type of purifying method you want to use, you can use. Okay, and in addition to the air method, the air element, you can also use a diffuser as well if you like. You can use a diffuser, so that's fine. And what you want to do is you want to come to your sacred space. You want to sit here, you want to meditate. And you want to begin to think about your relationship with your ancestors. And if you didn't know them, you want to think about how they are there. You want to just begin to picture them in your mind as though they are there to protect you. And they are there for your best interest in heart. So your ancestors are like your spirit guides. They're your go-tos. You know, you go to God, you go to your spirit guides. I always reference my spirit guide as Archangel Michael and the archangels. And when I come to my ancestors' altar to meditate and think about it and talk to them and bring them offerings, because I do bring them offerings, I fix them food sometimes. I fix myself food, and then I present an offering. I don't expect for them to eat them, what I bring, but I give it to them as a symbolic token of love and appreciation. I reverence them. I may bring a cup of coffee. I know my grandmother, she really liked coffee. I know one of my grandmothers really liked pickles. So I would bring a pickle here and I would cover it up and I would have her in mind, and I would go and present an offering to her, kind of like when you go into a grave. This is a great method. When you're going to a graveyard and you bring flowers, you don't expect for your loved deceased relatives to literally get up out the grave and grab the flowers and say, oh, thank you, dear. No. You give it because it's a symbolic token of love. It's a symbolic token of, a gesture. You know what I mean? So that's the same thing that I do. I present them with the coffee. I may make some okra. My grandma Callie, she loved okra. My grandma Ernestine loved sunny side up eggs. I may do that with some buttered toast or something and coffee or some hash. something that she likes, right? And my grandma Babe, she likes Budweiser's. I haven't saw Budweiser because I probably just really wasn't paying attention, but I promised in the spiritual realm as a symbolic token of love that I would give my grandma Babe, her name's Elsie, that I would give, I'll say Elsie for you guys, that I would give Elsie a Budweiser. And I remember she used to always say she was related to Lionel Richie because her name is Elsie Lewis. So she would say, no, Elsie Richie is her name. Elsie Lewis Richie or Elsie Richie Lewis, one of those. I know one of those was a maiden name and one of those was a married name. And she would say, yeah, Lionel Richie is my cousin. Drinking her Budweiser, of course. So I would want to reverence her and I would want to give her a Budweiser. I feel like they're smiling. And, I would just want to reference them like that. So that's what that does, is open up a door. It opens up a symbolic spiritual door, a portal of a connection with your loved ones, because believe it or not, they know what's going on. They feel you. You actually keep them alive in your heart. They're never gone from you. I know that a while ago, my grandma Ernestine used to come to me in my dreams, and she would be so furious and angry. It's almost like I did something wrong. I was in trouble. And I never forget the time that she passed away. I got a phone call right when she died, and nobody was there, nobody answered. And I felt like it was her trying to reach out to me to let me know that she needed me, that she was gone. And I never forgave myself because I wasn't there. She died. It was kind of like a tragic where she just stopped breathing, and she had a breathing treatment in her mouth, one of those machines, and she literally just croaked. She literally just it was in her mouth still, and she just fell flat on her face on the table, they said. And I wasn't there. And it really hurted me. It really did. And I felt in my heart that she was very angry with me. And I would get these dreams in the middle of the night where she would just pull the cover off of me. I would be asleep and the cover would be over my face. And she would pull the cover off of me. One night I had a dream about this. Well, actually, I think I was crying under my cover. And she pulled the cover off of me. And she was like, what'd she say? She said something. She yelled at me and just did like this. Pulled the cover and did like that. And I woke up like, I was like hyperventilating because I was like freaked the crap out, okay? I was freaked out. And I've had a lot of spiritual experiences, okay? And so she would just constantly come to me. And then Spirit told me that she was not able to rest. She was not able to rest. So I did some research. It took me several months. It actually took me more than that. And I was able to find a strategy to help her rest. So the strategy that I used was creating a ceremony for her where she was able to cross over to the other side, where they say is the light. And I did that ceremony from her, and I'm telling you guys, and I'm not doing this just for YouTube. I'm telling you guys that when I tell you I did this very thing I'm telling you, and I've never had a bad dream ever after. If I have any dreams, it might be something that we did in our regular lives where everything was normal. Nothing that was where I felt like she was really upset or angry, And then I also did that on her birthday. Her birthday is February 2nd, and I did that on her birthday. And when I tell you that I feel as though she's pleased, I know she's pleased. She's very pleased. She's very proud of me, and she's very pleased that I was able to put it to rest, put the situation to rest where she can rest. And so when I tell you that these ancestor altars really work, and you mean to tell me that people don't believe you can talk to the dead? You can talk to the dead. I've went to my ancestors a many of days, and when I tell you they got my back, they got my back. I've went to them about a lot of situations, and when I tell you the actual outcome of a thing was manifested and then some, the outcome of a thing was manifested and then some, okay? And it's a magical thing, and it's a relationship. You know, it's a relationship, and it's not against the will of God for you to connect with your deceased loved ones, because to be absent from the body, they say, is to be present with the Lord. But the most part is that you begin to open up that portal when you have a spiritual connection, if you do it the right way. You know, and you can play certain music, you know, like vibrations. You can get into like a nice type of atmosphere where you can dim your lights, and you can have candles, and you can have things playing, you know, like everything set up. And it's just very, very, very awesome to be able to connect with your deceased loved ones. And even when you're doing candle magic, and when you're doing like certain recipes, like my success oil, that is a spell I put together. And it was, when I tell you that that spell worked, that candle, I mean, that success oil recipe, a recipe is just a spell. So don't freak out because I say spell. It's a recipe, it's a spell, whatever. When I tell you that that oil worked, that oil has worked. And I also had my ancestors as my protection and as my guides. Well, I also had my ancestors bless the oil as well. I asked my ancestors to protect it and bless it, and to be with me while I do everything, so that I can be successful with it. And everything that I've done, from money oil, from come to me oil, from success oil, I'm gonna make some banishing oil. Everything, every time I put my intentions in a candle, and every time I meditate and I include my ancestors, they actually help and they work with me. So ancestors are very, very essential to this lifestyle. But that's gonna be it, you guys. I'm gonna wrap things up. It's really simple. You know, it's really, really simple. You get your elements that I talked to you about. You get something that's special to you, and you put it on your altar as a token of thanks, reverencing your ancestor as a token of thanks and honor, symbolic honor that, you know, you want to give them, that you want them to. You get something that's very important to you, that you care about, or that you want to manifest into your life. Like, for an example, the Rose of Jericho, which is a beautiful, lovely plant that I told you guys about, brings blessing and peace and financial prosperity over anything in your home. And I put this on my ancestors' altar here, and now it is literally blossoming. And I'm gonna show it again before the end of the video. And you get your 4 elements there, and you create your sacred space. You get some Florida water. You can order it on Amazon or at your local Botanica. You can Palo Santo your area with the sacred wood, or you can sage it, or use cedar or lavender, whatever type of cleansing method you want. Get the frankincense and myrrh, and burn your incense for your ancestors. And you don't have to worry about having to have it all together and do it all right. Just do it with good intentions, and it'll work out. You don't have to have done this for years to practice this tradition for you to be able to get a blessing, or for you to make a connection. They're not going to talk to you. You might not even feel anything. But if you have it in your heart that you're connecting with your ancestors, you're going to connect with your ancestors. I know a few people that would say, I don't hear anything. I don't feel connected. You don't have to always feel connected. It's all about your intent. What is your reason behind doing this? Do you feel like you made a connection? Are you literally just waiting for a knock on the door where you can actually get a ghost? No. You just got to know in your heart, and then you get the chance to see the things that you asked for come into fruition. I lucked up. I was able to get my grandmother to come visit me in my dreams quite a few times, but it wasn't a pretty picture, okay? You got to take the good, the bad, and the ugly. And give them blessings, give them things, you know, and don't worry about what people say. Don't worry about if people come to your house and say, what is you doing? What is that? How is that going to work? You know, I had a friend over last year that went to my old church, and I kind of was worried about what she thought at first, because I forgot to move my ancestors' altar before she came in. But she cleaned up my entire house for me, because we had a big event here. And she saw it, and I told her what it was. She said, oh, you're fine. In her mind, because she knows that that's you. That's what you, whatever, to whomever, whatever floats your boat. You know what I mean? She came from a family that did not believe in what we both believed in when she got into that first religion. But then she transitioned out of what her parents believed in into what she felt was right. And so at the end of the day, it's all about what you feel in your heart is right. If you're so busy walking around here worrying about what your parents taught you when you was a kid, and versus trying to dig in and learn some more stuff out here and just do what's comfortable for you. So for me, I got away from certain things that I just always was curious about that didn't make sense to me. I just got away from it. I'm not going to specifically start calling things out, but a lot of that crap didn't make sense to me. And it's not really supposed to make sense all like that, but you're supposed to be able to connect the dots. And for me, it did not help me connect the dots. And so at this point, I just feel as though I have a connection. I pray to God, the great creator, the universal mind of God. The all is mind, the universe is mental. And I just feel like now I'm at the point where I don't really mind if people know where I'm at. You don't have to understand where I'm at, but if you are willing to listen and you're willing to take notes and you're willing to learn a thing or two, then I don't mind making it plain. I don't mind telling you what the dealio is with me and what it is that I do and where I'm going on my journey. I don't mind sharing that with you. We are all entitled to our own beliefs. We are all entitled to whatever but at the end of the day, it's all about what you really feel your connection with. If you feel connected to what it is that you're doing and that is your truth, then you hold your truth. You hold your own truth. And you don't let anyone take that away. I'm not going to tippy-toe around who I am and what I do. If you come to this channel and you say, oh, that's witchcraft, or oh, that's demonic, this and that's demonic, that, you're entitled to your opinion. You are. But what do you really know about it? Which just means wise one. Try to tell you that. Try to tell you. It doesn't, they take the word and they just run with the word and they make the word look like it's just so crazy. And no, I'm not a witch. And a lot of things is witchcraft. Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, 4th of July, birthday parties. All of that stuff is witchcraft. So come on, miss me with that bull crap, okay? You better be lucky the grandparents is here, because I would have said miss me with that. But anyway. At the end of the day, it ain't like they ain't never heard it, because they used to say it all the time. But at the end of the day, it's all about, what you really believe and how you feel connected. So don't worry about what people think if they come in your house and they see an ancestor's altar. If I told my kids, if anything happened to me, you make that ancestor's altar and you put me on it. You know what I mean? You keep the thing going here. And it's just like having a thing of ashes on a table with their picture by it. The only difference is you're honoring it every moment that you can. You're going there to talk to them. People that go visit their loved ones in the graveyard, they go there and they talk to them all the time and bring flowers, like I told you before. And it's okay. Nothing's wrong with it. People don't think that the people that are doing it is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when they do it. No. But if you see an ancestor's altar in your house, you say, oh, that's satanic, or that's a cuckoo for Cocoa Puff type of person. No. So just get past that, you guys. Get past that, because if you want to tap into other realms and be able to get downloads from the cosmos and connect to the spiritual, to source, and to be more connected, and to, like I said, receive your downloads and things of that nature, then you're going to make sure you open up that door and you have some connection. Okay, so with all that being said, I'm going to wrap it up. You guys, I love you for stopping by to check out my videos. If you know someone that has lost a loved one and you know that this would comfort them, don't try to get them to forget about their loved one. I feel Spirit is telling me this right now. Don't try to get whoever you know is in a deep depression or going through, about their loved one passing on, and just try to live life and forget about them. The best thing that you can do to help them get through this is to go through this journey. This is a lifelong journey, and everything is not always a quick fix. So stop thinking with your immediate gratification. Focus on allowing yourself to sit with yourself for a minute and understand what that feels like, and recognize what it is, and then gradually begin to work your way past it and horse your way to work past it. Work past it. Every day it's a work in progress if you lost a loved one. And the best thing that you can do is live in the memories of that person or those people. A lot of people are dying right now because of COVID-19. A lot of people are dying. And those people have lived some amazing lives and gave birth to some amazing beings. And it's not always a quick fix to just throw it under the rug there. So bring it out, acknowledge it, reverence it. It doesn't just have to be ancestors. You know, at the end of the day, one day they're going to be an ancestor, because if life keeps happening and people keep rebirthing and reproducing, they'll be ancestors. So put it out there. Make the altar. Write love notes. Hi, Grandma, I miss you. I love you. If you were here, we could go here. We can have coffee. We can have sunny side up eggs. We can have fried okra. We can have pickles. We can have tomatoes. You know, whatever. And just show gratitude, because that's one thing I'm learning in this life, you know, that the more you give gratitude for a thing, whatever it is, I just say for a thing, just saying symbolically whatever it is, whether it's life, whether it's death, whether it's whatever, the more you give gratitude to something, your blessings come, because you're putting that out in the ethers. The universe is only going to recognize what it is that you're giving it. So if you're going to give off bad thoughts and depression and, oh, I can't live without this person, they're gone, and I want to kill myself so I can make it, I can go be with them, then that's what you're going to get back. But if you give back how I'm going to honor this person, and I'm going to spend my mornings waking up at 4 a.m., coming here, talking to them, telling them I love them, and maybe fixing something that they like to eat and just sitting there and reverencing it. You're not a freak. You're not a freak. You are there. You're doing that because their memory will forever live in your heart. Forever. Forever. And it's okay to walk it out. It is okay to walk it out into your everyday life if you want to. So if you know someone that's suffering from a lost and deceased, you know, they lost someone, then share this video. It is okay to spiritually connect. And it is okay. I don't care what you done read. It is okay. If you feel it's okay in your heart, then it's okay. Okay? So go ahead. You guys, I gotta go. I'm gonna wrap this up. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And please stay safe out there, you guys. And most importantly, share the video. Gods and goddesses, moons and suns. Moon represents feminine energy and sun represents masculine energy.